I chose to work with a tree for my project in the Contemporary Art Museum St. Louis was because it's basically a long story, because I was initially invited to take part in a group exhibition. For various reasons, the group exhibition didn't happen, but then I was invited to have a solo exhibition, which brought my work inside the museum. So it was something that happened over a long period of time. I had initially been working on a completely different, well, related project, but different in that it was going to be outside. And so it was through the discussion, the conversation, and over time and having to work inside that it became a tree. The support that you need to undertake projects, because I'm an individual, and I think when a lot of people who aren't artists would normally, if you're freelance, I think freelance people would probably have a lot of the same problems. But if you're working in a team, like the team at the museum, you've got sections and structures and people, and there's more than one person to do everything. So you've got a whole team of people, whereas I'm this one person, and I've always, part of my practice is that I float around and I travel a lot and I undertake my projects in, wherever I'm invited to go. So I went traveling and came back 6 months later, and there were 3 new motorways within 3 miles radius of my mum's house, and she lives in the middle of the countryside in the middle of nowhere. And so a lot of projects at that time for me came out of drawings that I did based on all of this construction and just changing in the landscape. I can really admire people and understand and feel like I'm coming from the same place that they are, but the end product might look completely different. And I think that's just because I'm obviously coming from a different place. I'm an Irish woman who grew up in the countryside, and so I have a different story or a different way of working with materials, I think. And that's why nature always comes back to everything, because I understand soil and plants and trees. For me, even with my drawings, when you see my drawings, I think it becomes apparent the more that you see how the notion of tangents and the ripple effect that things have on other things kind of becomes really apparent in my work. That it's something that I always, it starts here and it kind of goes on and on and on, like the way a conversation works. Well, I hope visitors to the Contemporary, visitors to my show, will leave with a new, maybe with fresher eyes, and they might start to look at the landscape around them, be that the urban or the rural, whatever, because I think landscape is just what's out there, our environment, our day-to-day environment. So maybe they'll look at the trees growing around St. Louis. If people are interested in seeing more of my work, they can contact me at www.katieholten.com.